Thank you for staying with the Friday briefing. Now, during this coronavirus era, we are encouraged to be positive and to learn something new. So how about pronunciation with Willis, the word master? Willis, I trust you're well to you.
Yes, before I can continue with Mind Your Language, when we are talking about good English pronunciations, I must confess that I have really loved the Friday briefing tonight. As usual, punchy and giving us that very clear, message on every item. Keep it up. But now, let's go straight to good English pronunciations, and I always talk about RP. That is received pronunciation and its approximations. Now, for our collections of the week, we have our first word right here. This is a noun and it means a temporary stop or a pause in activity with nothing happening during that period. Or you can talk about a space in a piece of writing or speech where something is missing. Now, how do you say it? I know there are those who have said hiatus. Hiatus, no. You say hiatus. Hiatus. Don't forget that this is a noun, and please, the best way or the accurate way to pronounce the word is hiatus. Hiatus. Now, let's go to our next word. The next word is a verb. It's fairly common, and this verb means to try to reach an agreement through a discussion. Now, many people find themselves saying negotiate. Negotiate, no. Negotiate, no. You say negotiate, to negotiate. Now, that is the way to pronounce the word, because I'm always talking about careers of serious communication so that you deliver the intended message in a clear or effective way with good pronunciations, good grammar, and the right choice of words in communication. You are set and you are done. Now, let's go to our next word. Our next word is not very common, but there are those who know about this word. The problem sometimes is pronunciation. In fact, it's an adjective, and it means made without any yeast. Made without any yeast. Like you can talk of bread. Now, the pronunciation is unleavened. Unleavened. Don't say unleavened, no. You say unleavened bread. Unleavened bread, not unleavened. Now, let's go to our next word. The next word, I think it's always popular locally, especially those who love or who like biology. Now, it's also an adjective, and it means connected with a cervix or the neck. Connected with a cervix or the neck. Now, this word has two acceptable or alternative pronunciations. You can say cervical. Cervical with a long mid central sound, cervical. But remember, you can also say cervical. Cervical. So the two pronunciations are acceptable as alternatives in standard English. So when you find somebody saying cervical and another one saying cervical, it's just like when you say finance and finance. Both pronunciations are acceptable. Now, let's go to our word that somebody really amused me about at a function somewhere, and it had to get down to some voting so that they could see who got it right. Now, the problem is almost everybody pronounced this word the way it is spelled, which is wrong. Don't say poignant or poignant. No, don't say that. You say poignant. Poignant. I know that is a surprise to many people, and it means having a strong effect on somebody's feelings in a way that causes sadness. Just like you can say a poignant memory or a poignant reminder of something. But don't say poignant. Poignant. No, it's just like saying arena because of what our eyes see or the spelling. But you say arena. Arena, not arena. Poignant. Poignant, not poignant. Now, let's go to our next word. And this one is a noun. It means the swelling of the throat that is caused by a disease. The swelling of the throat that is caused by a disease. How do you say it? If it were to be a language that is phonetic, that is a language with a spelling or the sequences of letters in a word being pronounced the way they are, just like M-I-L-K, milk, or Baba, B-A-B-A, or Mama, M-A-M-A. That is where we talk of phonetic spelling, where you pronounce a word the way it is spelled. But this one, don't do that, because you would end up with goitre. You would end up saying goitre. But as I always say, nobody's perfect. What you say is goita. Goita. This word is a noun, and it means the swelling of the throat that is caused by a disease, as I explained earlier. Don't say goitre, you say goita. Now, let's go to a word which is tricky. It's also a noun, and this one, it means a person who looks strange or behaves strangely. Many people would say, weirdo, weirdo. And that is not the way to pronounce this word. You say, weirdo, weirdo, a weirdo. A person who looks strange, or as I've explained, behaves in a strange way. You can say, the convict has always been a weirdo in the village. The convict has always been a weirdo in the village, behaving strangely or looking strange, but normally it goes much with somebody's behavior. Now, let's go to our last word in the collections of this week. Now, this last word is a bit tricky. It's common, but a bit tricky. It can function as a verb and also as a noun. Now, as a verb, you say increase, to increase. That is, to become or make something greater in amount, number, or value. As a verb, you say increase, to increase something. But as a noun, you say increase, increase, the increase of something, the increase of something. That is as a noun. So, get to know sometimes such words are tricky. I would give you another one, like the word rebel. The verb rebel, to rebel against authority. Then the person, you say rebel, but the spelling is just the same. Otherwise, let me now go to feedback. And feedback for the week, we have Babu Omar of Nairobi. You say your or yo. Babu Omar, you catch that and keep it up. When you love good English like that, you must be a good communicator. Now, we go to Sam Owor Ochola, Team J, and Cindy Wilma of Ober Boarding Primary School, Oyugis. You say esophagus, esophagus. The plural is esophagi. Then you come to peer, P-I-E-R, you say peer. Then we have pious, that name. Locally we find ourselves saying pews. But remember also in the Catholic Church, it's acceptable when you say pews. But this name, the best pronunciation or the most accurate pronunciation is just pious, just like you also say Linus, for the word or the name that is having the spelling L-I-N-U-S. Linus, in the Catholic Church you can still say Linus, but you say Linus. And pious may be tricky or a surprise to many people. And then your last word is nation. Let's go to Guteta Njeru of Thika. You say ludicrous, ludicrous. Honorable Donald Karani, PhD. By the way, don't say PhD. H is the name of that letter. The name of that letter in the English alphabet, the name is that which is used to identify that symbol. And remember, a letter is a symbol that represents a speech sound. But now the name of that H is H. Don't say H. Don't say PhD, HOD, HIV. No. You say PhD, HIV, HOD, and so on. Now, your word, Honorable Donald Karani, is deluge, deluge. Then we have Raphael Biketi of Nairobi. You say almond, almond. That is the way to pronounce that word. Don't say almond. Almond, no. L is silent. You say then mund. Just like you say Edmund, not Edmond. But the spelling has an O. That O takes the sound Almond, Edmund. Now, we have Peter Mwangi Njeru of Thika. You say conscience. This word is very popular. And just sometime, another fellow was asking me, or another friend was asking me, now, why don't we say conscience? Because we have science. Then I told him English has what we call irregularities in spelling and pronunciation. So you say conscience, not conscience. Conscience. So Raphael and Peter Mwangi Njeru of Thika catch those ones just from KTN. Now, we have John M. Waithaka of Nyeri, a.k.a. Libero or Libero. Now, you say skiing, treacherous. Don't say treacherous. And remember, you also say domestic chores. Chores. Don't say domestic cause. Now, we have your last word as stipend. Stipend. Don't say stipend. Stipend. We have Nelly Marianne Combo of Mombasa. You say leopard. That O is silent. And tell your child whom you say loves KTN so much and good English, tell that child that he deserves a pat on the back or a salute. Now, we have Robert Songa. Robert Songa, you say surface. It's tricky, but you say surface. Then we have somebody whom I always say, the quiet but very, very articulate man. That is Nicodemus Ogachi. Nicodemus Ogachi. You say bungalow and buffalo. Don't say bungalow and don't say buffalo. It's buffalo and bungalow. Otherwise, let me go straight now to our surprise word for tonight. And it is a noun, and the noun is usually, or it's commonly used in physics. In physics, this word is used normally to refer to an atom or a molecule with a positive or a negative charge. That is, an atom or a molecule with a positive or a negative charge. How do you say it? Wherever you are, please, our dear viewers, don't say ion. Ion, no. It has two acceptable or alternative pronunciations. You can say iron, iron, and you can also say ion. Iron and ion. Now, that is the way to go. Don't say ion. Now, our next words are confusing words. And I want to begin by saying a big no to potato. Potato, no. Please don't say potato. If you can see the phonetic transcription that I've used, you say potato. Potato, that is the upper word, potato. But the lower one, you say tomato. Tomato. And that is in British English. In American pronunciation, you would hear of tomato or tomato. But in British pronunciation or under RP, just say tomato. But don't say potato. Potato, it's nowhere. It doesn't exist in English. Say potato. Now, let's go to the much asked about words. Now, the first one, don't say comb. Comb, no. You say comb. Comb. To comb your hair. Comb. That B after M is not pronounced. You can remember last week, we focused on words like plum instead of plumb, plumber, not plumber, and plumbing, not plumbing. Now this week, and you get it only on KTN, you say comb, not comb, combing, not combing, and you say combed. That is the past tense or the past participle of the verb comb. So don't use the sound mb of mbolea. You say comb, combing, and combed. Yes, that is the way to go, dear viewers. Finally, it's a bit tricky this week. Look at all these words and the phonetic symbols which are at the top. I know many people have been asking, how do we pronounce these words? Now, I want you to understand that the first part that is on this side, we have the low front sound, the short one. You say bun and hat. Bun, hat. But the second one is the long, low front sound, You say bun and hat. Hat and bun. Then the third one is the short mid-central sound, You say bun, bun, that is B-U-N. And then you say hut, hut, H-U-N. H-U-T, I beg your pardon. H-U-T, you say hut, hut. And then finally, you have the long mid-central sound, just like you say burn, burn for B-U-R-N, and hurt, hurt for H-U-R-T. Tricky, but you can always realize that when you watch KTN every Friday night, whatever is a problem to you in terms of pronunciation or standard pronunciation of words, you will be sure to get it right. So they are tricky, and they can be tricky to anybody on earth. And as I say, nobody is perfect. Otherwise, if you want also to interact with me throughout the week, this is the Twitter handle, that is at Willis Ochieng1. At Willis Ochieng1, you'll always be sure to get the right pronunciations as you interact with me. Otherwise, just keep it KTN every Friday night, and the actual pronunciations will come your way. That is about it for tonight. For Mind Your Language, I would just tell you, keep it KTN as we continue and taking you back to the tough team in Nairobi. That's the tough KTN team in Nairobi. And mine is just to say, good English, good Kiswahili, and good mother tongue helps you to communicate. No language is inferior. And keep it KTN always.
All right, thank you very much, Willis. That was quite educative. Iron is my favorite. Willis, I hope you're keeping safe and you're staying home, and of course you're washing your hands. Well, Jesse, it's a wrap.
Want to know my favorite?
Yes.
Was it potato or tomato? I gotcha.
You know... Okay.
I'm still waiting. Okay, apparently we don't have an answer. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've adequately been informed. Do catch Willis the Word Master next week, Friday, right here, only on KTN News.
I'm Ashley Mazuri, our sign language